Hey heroes, cosplayers, and pop culture fans, are you ready to assemble for the ultimate geek weekend? The Hall of Heroes Comic-Con is invading Elkhart, Indiana with 2 explosive days of comics, stars, and non-stop fun. Join us Saturday, May 30th and Sunday, May 31st, 2026 at the Northern Indiana Event Center in Elkhart. Doors open at 10 a.m. both days. VIP early entry at 9:30 a.m. on Saturday. We're rolling out a massive lineup of legends. Meet Eric Estrada from Chips and Fallout, Dirk Benedict from the A-Team and Battlestar Galactica, Tara Reid from American Pie and Sharknado, Catherine Cavadini, voice of Blossom from the Powerpuff Girls, Kel Mitchell from All That, Kevin and Kel and Mystery Men, horror icon Tony Moran, the original Michael Myers in Halloween, and more. Plus, top comic artists including Arthur Sidem, Marvel Zombies and Deadpool, John Kramer from Batman and Wonder Woman, Keith Pollard, a legendary Marvel artist on Spider-Man and Thor, and more. Scott Rosema, Stuart Sager, and others. Get autographs, photo ops, and chats with the stars and creators who shaped your favorites. The floor is packed with over 150 vendors, artists, and cosplayers offering exclusive comics, collectibles, original art, and merch. Enjoy cosplay contests for kids and adults with great prizes, live Q&A panels, artist showcases, interactive zones, and family-friendly fun all weekend. And the excitement goes live. Madness Entertainment Group is broadcasting straight from the con floor all weekend on YouTube, Build, and Rumble. Catch every moment as it happens, then relive it anytime with the full shows available later on Med TV on Roku. Grab your tickets today at hohcomiccon.org. Hall of Heroes Comic-Con, May 30th and 31st, 2026. Northern Indiana Event Center, Elkhart, Indiana. We'll see you there, heroes. This ad was created by Nim on behalf of Madness Entertainment Group and Hall of Heroes Comic-Con.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Silverline Silver Sunday on this May the 17th, 2026 year of our Lord. I am Roller Man. I am your host, and I am excited to be here. We're going to have a fun night tonight. We always have a fun night. I'm trying to pop up. I'm trying to fill the space while I get this screen loaded. I know it doesn't work. Because I can't chew gum and walk at the same time.
Oh.
I am joined, as always, by the man who hates lore himself, Mr. Tom Mason. Say hi, Tom.
Hey, everybody. Happy Sunday.
We are, of course, joined by Mr. Roberta Conroy, Colors of Cat and Mice and Vipers, Supreme Colors, I should add.
Hello.
Hi. Roberta's in her space again, right?
Mm-hmm. I like my space.
Yeah. And of course, we are joined by militaryGazette.substack.com, the man in the mask guy himself, Mr. Mike W. Belcher. Say hi, Mike.
Howdy, everybody.
Thomas Flormonti is not here tonight. He is in Mississippi playing. So we're going to talk about him because, he's Tommy. So
there's no Disneyland in Mississippi. So why is he there?
That's true. I don't really know. He's probably riding bikes somewhere up there.
It's the lore of Tommy.
Right. Yeah. It's the lore. That's right. So I'm going to start with a little bit of news here. Laura Monty. Ooh, you know what? Next, help me remember the next time.
That.
Yeah, one of my favorite clips that we've done that I posted is the time Tommy joined us from the car, and he, of course, he's in his car, right? And he misspelled his own last name.
He's got the longest name of any of us.
Well, he does, but he wasn't Floramonti that night. He was Flatamonti.
It sounds like a low-level mobster in a crime family.
He's driving, and I call him that, and he looks at it, he goes, "Oh crap, Fix it for me, fix it. Yeah.
And we're lucky he made it home that night.
We are lucky he
Yeah.
made it home, not trying to click into his phone and crash.
Kids
Look at
don't type and drive.
We're already getting comments here. Pops says, "Hey, yo, what's up, Pops?" As always, we can rely on Pops. Atris-Doc says, "Hey, everyone. What's up, Atris? Thanks for hanging out with us again. Good to see you, or your comments, rather, again."
Definitely.
So yesterday, me and Javier Lugo went to the Tampa Bay Toy and Comic, or was it Comic and Toy? Toy and Comic. I get that wrong every time. One or the other. It's the Comic and Toy Expo or the Toy and Comic Expo. Either way, it was a Tampa Bay. A lot of fun. A lot of these one-day shows, and I'm not going to say anything that these guys don't already know. A lot of these one-day shows, they start at 10 o'clock, and they're scheduled to go to like 4 o'clock. But almost always they die at like 2 o'clock. It's just like people come out, right? It's really busy at lunchtime. People walking all over the place, and it was right. It was busy, but at like 2 o'clock, like, where is everybody? Where did everybody go? And someone was saying, he goes, well, the thing is, because it's a one-day show, people don't have to. They don't come in and hang around. They're not worried about. They're not. They don't have a hotel. They didn't stay. They didn't stay for the next day. So they come. They get their things that they're going to do. Maybe they walk around a little bit, and then they go. They leave.
Let's say it's like no one stays at Walmart all day.
It's
You
true.
just go, you do your thing. Because the thing is, it's on a weekend, and I think there's a thought that if you can do the show in the morning, then you still got your afternoon. You can go out and do your thing. So I think it's you get the rush of shoppers, and then they're shopping, so they're gone.
Yep. But shout out to Barry, the guy who runs the show, for inviting us. We had a good time. We had a blast. Our buddy from Cosmic Times was right beside me, Martin Piero, and we went out to there will be pictures to follow, everyone. We went out to dinner, and you know how it is after a convention. We solved all of the ills of the comic book industry. So
there are plenty of ills to solve.
Boy, there are plenty of ills to solve. So
pick your poison.
But we had a good time. So that's my news for the week. Any of you have any news? Tom got a haircut.
I did get a haircut because I wanted to show more of my 5 head, so that everybody could get a good look at it.
The 5 head.
My summer 5 head.
Yeah. Mike, did you get a haircut also?
No, it's always this short because it doesn't grow.
Okay, all right. All right. Well, before we get to our topic, you guys remember. Whoa, I got stuff falling on my desk. For those of you who check out what fell, it's an old CD that has.
What are those, Dad?
I know, right? It's good. It's got.
Hey, those are making a comeback.
I know. It's Diablo.
Diablo.
Yeah.
How old is that Diablo?
It's pretty old. But that's kind of why it's here, because I've been going through a couple of boxes.
I played that in college. On CD.
Stop. Already feel
Just still have the mixtapes you gave BJ when you were dating?
In fact, here's what else I found. Why y'all do this to me every week? You do this to me
because you have it behind you. That's how we know.
Check out what I found. I found out I've taken a couple of them out. My cassettes. I can't.
That's
right?
cool.
Right?
Wow.
Even my old cassette cleaner. People.
That's a good find right there.
I'm right. All these kids born since the 2000 are like, what the heck is that?
Why don't you bring out your Casio keyboard?
I do not have a Casio keyboard. The thing so I've got like 3 cassette cleaners in here, right? This won't surprise you guys. I know it won't. But the 2 of the tapes in here, they're tapes for Civil War battlefields.
Okay.
It's just cannons booming and guys yelling, "Run! Look out!"
Oh wait, this is Little Bighorn. This is a tour for Little Bighorn. Actually,
is it narrated info or is it sound effects?
Yeah. So no. So what it is, most of the battlefield, if you haven't been, you guys clearly haven't been to very many national parks. You go to the national park that are battlefields. What they'll do is there's a you can take a walking tour with a tape, or you can take a car tour. And what we usually do is we would take the car tour. We'd stick the tape in. It would say pull up to stop number 1, and then it would say looking straight ahead from the west, General Lee brought his army of 15,000 Confederates just through those trees. To your right, General Meade waited for him with the 1st Ohio Regiment, and surprise. And so you could sit there and look and see, and they would kind of tell you what happened.
And then when you're done, you steal the tape to take it home.
Right, yeah. So I have Vicksburg, and I have Chickamauga. I told you it wouldn't surprise you guys. But I also have, and Tom and Roberta probably remembers this too. I played in a band.
Civic Fear.
And this is an old cassette tape.
I want to hear that.
Oh, Ulm would like to hear that.
Yeah. Well, this is actually pre-Ulm. This was this was before actually I went out to California. Anyway, I found this cassette holder. So
I went to the Gettysburg battlefield when I was a kid.
Oh man!
And in those days, there was no, because I'm obviously older than everybody else in the world, but there was no guided tour, walking tour, or tape or anything like that. You drove around, you got out of your car, and you looked at stuff.
Yeah, they had they still had those plaques, though, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, they had the plaques, but the plaques were just, it's like a Twitter post. It's not really, it's not lengthy or anything.
Yeah.
And but I was at Pickett's Charge.
Oh, did it make you cry?
The great thing about going to any battlefield, because I've been to some World War II battlefields as well, but the great thing about going to any battlefield is you can sort of look at the ground. Like I was at the top of where Pickett's Charge was. I could look down where Pickett was coming up, but I could think, that's the stupidest thing in the world. Why would they come up this hill? You can see. You just look at it and go, what the hell was he thinking?
Yeah.
There's no way he was going to survive that.
Yeah.
That's my battlefield story.
Forrest tried to talk Lee out of it. But Lee was like, nope, this is it. This is our time. We're invincible. We got to go.
He's got cannon fever.
Yeah. So Gettysburg is one of the few. So, oh man, we're rabbit trails here. I've been to every battlefield on the Western Theater. I've not been to any in the Eastern Theater. So Fredericksburg, Antietam, Gettysburg. I haven't been to any of those. And I would love to go to those sometimes. I'm afraid if I went to Gettysburg, though, I'd cry.
The best one I went to was Fort McHenry.
Really?
For the War of 1812.
Yeah.
And that is still impressive because it's not really a fort like you think of a fort.
Yeah.
It's like a big earthen wall that goes around in a big square. But you could see out into the harbor where they were attacked by the British. It's fascinating to see.
Yeah. Yeah. I think all of those places, I tell people, and most people don't get much out of it, but my ancestor, of course, fought in the Confederate Army, and I have been to several places where he walked and he fought. And most of them don't have placards, but at Chickamauga, there's a placard that says, this is where the 5th Arkansas Company E, which was my ancestor, this is the ground that they fought on and walked across. And so that's just kind of an eerie feeling, like my great grandfather was here.
Is that your lore?
That's my lore. Give Tom the Bronze Star for segue, right? Atris says, Roland, I tried to give earlier and accepted my tip and rejected my donation. Oh no. Atris, drop me a line if you want to drop me an email, and we'll try to get it figured out. Pop says I still play Diablo. Yeah, so they've got it's like Diablo 4 or 5, something like that now. I've asked some of my college buddies because I do gaming on Friday night if they wanted to play it, and I just kind of get Right. Mike Wheeler. What's up, Mike? Thanks for joining us
Mike.
tonight, man. He says, thought it was actually bombs bursting in air to lull thee to sleep. No, it's not that. And, I think some of them do have sound effects, if I recall correctly. Like you might be sitting there and it'll talk about, these two armies clashed here, and they're get you a little, ambiance and as part of your tour.
Like homemade radio.
Right, like yeah, exactly. Pop said it is fun. Yeah, I enjoyed it when I played, and clearly Roberta did too when she was back in college.
Yeah.
Wow, the Rolling Men B-sides sitting in case all of these years. Yeah. Yeah, all right. So you guys go over to SilverlineComics crowdfunder.com. There's a whole bunch of stuff here. If you've missed our campaigns, this is an opportunity for you to get the whole thing, right? You can see here. We've got some 3-issue miniseries. Friar Rush 1, 2, 3. You can get the whole set. Switchblade 1 through 3. You can get the whole set. Teen Beetle 1 through 3. Same for these miniseries. You can get Cat and Mouse. Divinity, Kalis, Trumps, Twilight Grim, all of those are 4-issue miniseries. You can get the whole things of those. We've got a Silverline red bags, which is a mystery bag. We actually sold, we sold 2 of those yesterday. I think we sold 2 of those yesterday. So yeah, pick you up, those of you who like mysteries, pick you up a mystery bag, and you'll never know what you're going to get. Unclaimed freight. Somebody actually sent me a message and asked me about unclaimed freight. So unclaimed freight is, and I tried to cover them up so that because most of them didn't get packaged, but you can see here the one on top, it was in a package and was returned to us. And I reached out to the backer and couldn't get any information, and just no information at all. The others are from Kickstarters. And see, the difference between Fund My Comic and Kickstarter, people ask me sometimes, is that, in Fund My Comic, you have to give all of that stuff up front. So you have to give your address, you pay for it right then. At Kickstarter, it's like, well, we're not going to charge you any money until the campaign is over. Well, and therefore, they don't have to put addresses in. And sometimes people forget about it. But now I sent out emails, I sent out updates, I sent out, all kinds of stuff to them. And at some point in time, and I even put it out on our newsletter. It's like, how long should I wait? I even asked a bunch of you guys, hey, how long should I wait? and most of the people were like, hey, 6 months is a reasonable time to wait. I will say this, though. I waited considerably longer than that before I put them in the unclaimed freight stack. And so that's what this is. These are just, and actually I found 4 more. These are just crowdfunder rewards that people never sent me their address to. I reached out to them multiple times and they just never claimed. And so rather than just let them sit there and gather dust, we are offering them as unclaimed freight.
It's weird to not want your comics, though.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I know that some people use, like, this is my email address only for my shopping and stuff.
Hey, I don't tell my wife or my husband.
I don't know, but I've talked to people like, yeah, that's the email I use only for my eBay stuff or my my PayPal or whatever, and so I don't check it that much. And this is partly why I was extra gracious in the wait period. I'm like, okay, well, if you don't check that there very much, then you're not seeing my emails. But I can't continue to hold on to these because literally for some of them, y'all, it's been like 5 and 6 years.
I think maybe they're dead.
Well, I mean, that's also a possibility too. I don't know that. I don't know the answer. Houston, Texas Dave says, nice. Yeah. So, look at it this way. If you missed one of our previous crowdfunders, this is an opportunity to get some rewards from one of those. And of course, we have a little bit of overstock. Anybody who knows anything about printing, if 20 copies are ordered, you're gonna print 21 or 22 because something's gonna happen to one of them, and it's better to go ahead and get it. And that's what we do. For those of you who are counting, we run 40 crowdfunders. So as you can see here, there's a limit of 48. And if you look carefully, you can see like, oh, well, there's 2 copies of Twilight Grim there. I can't. There's 2 copies of whatever that one is right there. I can't read it in my little picture. 2 copies of Scary Book. So we got a couple extra copies of a few things, and these were all for the like this is a Stephen Butler Kickstarter exclusive cover for Wolf Hunter, which is no longer available. You can't get that anymore. And here's a better picture. That was Divinity. All right. And also we've got some. You see, we've got 27 of the foils left. So, and this is a pretty good picture here of the foils.
That's a good bargain.
Yeah. So anyway, and then of course there's other stuff here. There's some original art, some commissions. You see, Rob Davis will do a commission here, basically on 8.5 by 11. Your choice. You tell him what you want him to draw. Let's see. Tommy is doing his Kid Hero commissions. I think there's here we go. Tommy does these Kid Hero commissions that he's famous for, you could say. So he's offering some up. Your chance to get those. There are a couple of sketch covers here from Jose, Obsoletes, and he's actually sent me a message and saying that he wants to do some more. So we may get some more. A lot of original pages from Fire Rush available. A couple of T-shirts. Here's an Obsoletes T-shirt. We've only got one, but you can see it's a medium here. Nope, sorry. Here's an Obsolete T-shirt. It's a large size. So then we've got Pendulum, extra large. Then a whole bunch of art. I'm going to be adding artwork as well. I think I held this up to y'all last week. I gotta get that added. So yeah, get over there and back the campaign if you can. And look, if you're one of these guys who are like, you know what, I got all the books already. Buy a set for your pal. Buy a set. This is a good deal on these full sets of these miniseries.
But you wait for Christmas.
Ah, exactly. Buy Christmas. It's never too early to buy Christmas presents.
Nope.
And what better to get someone than a full? If you get issue 1, then they're like, man, I gotta find issue 2, 3, and 4 now. But if you get them the whole set, there it is. The whole 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4. They can read the whole thing, and boom.
And they will love you forever.
Yes, they will. Dave said, like the T-shirts. Yeah, those are really nice. You can see Roberta has on her Divinity shirt, right?
It's a nice shirt.
Yep, a nice one.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got on my cat and mouse shirt. My camera moved up, didn't it? I'm always having. I got on my cat and mouse shirt. We lost this vendor, by the way, so we are trying to find us another vendor for T-shirts. David Escudero says, what's the URL again? Thank you, David, for asking that question. It is SilverlineComics crowdfunder.com, and that will take you right to it. Atris says, both my medium and large days are behind me.
I hear that.
I do.
That's
too.
why I'm wearing the fat guy special Jimmy Buffett Hawaiian shirt.
All of my Atris, all of my T-shirts say XL on them. So actually 2XL. So I understand what you're saying. Dana Black, what's up, Dana? I hadn't seen you popping on here before. Thanks for hanging out with us, man. He says, howdy, folks. All right, so that's it for the news. Tonight's topic, which I think will be a fun topic, is we're talking about comic creation. Nobody cares about your lore.
What is lore, Roland?
Well, okay, I was about to ask that, Tom. I was going to ask you guys, what do you think when we say lore? What do you guys think that means? If you were to guess, what do you think it means?
Backstory.
Mike, yeah. Roberta, yeah. I've seen headlines.
Backstory that other people know about you.
Wait. Okay. So backstory that other people know about you.
Yeah. Or the world you're in.
I'm gonna disagree with you, Roberta. I'm gonna say hold on though. So let's argue on here.
Let's hear it.
So I'm gonna say it's backstory that people don't know about you.
Okay. And the reason why you think they don't know?
Because they have to tell you. Right? It's like I gotta tell you my backstory. Well, if you already
exists.
It does exist, right? It is I'm not disagreeing that it's a backstory.
The state of being told or not told, I wasn't really giving it a state
It's
of time.
Schrodinger's lore.
It's still there.
Yeah. Dana Black says lore is the origin. Okay, all right. I think that's fair. Elsa says, I know, I always miss you guys. I'm a workaholic.
Stop working.
Thank you, Dana.
Yeah. Hey, you know what?
Yeah, he's a machine. He puts out
Absolutely.
a ton of stuff.
Yeah. He absolutely is a machine. Dana, one of the beautiful things is because I know you're an artist. Those of you who don't know, you can put us on and still art. You don't have to watch us all the time. You can listen to us, right?
That's what I'm doing.
All right, our chat's going here. Atris says, so Roland, you're saying lore is a story you don't directly present through your primary story? Yes, that is what I'm saying. Madness says, Dana says, or lore is the legend of you, not necessarily the origin. David A. Scooter says, are you talking world building backstory? I am.
That's what I'm thinking.
Steve Scott says the lore of the creator or the properties.
Yeah. No one cares about the creator.
Yeah.
Hey, Steve.
Yeah. What's up, Steve? Thanks for hanging out with us. Still all the way from Belgium, right? I think that's where he's at. Belgium. Yes.
Could be, unless he's on the run again.
He's across the pond. I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So part of the reason that I wanted to bring this up and want you guys to kind of chime in is this is something that I hear in school from students a lot. He goes, hi, and yes, it is Belgium. Steve Scott said.
There we go.
They, and as a Southerner, Mike, right? Often when we Southerners love to tell stories. Of course, Tom, you're a Southerner in origin too. We Southerners, we love to tell stories. But often what happens when we go to tell our story, we're like, hey, Tom, I got a story to tell you. But before I tell you my story, I got to tell you this. Right?
It's like hearing my parents drive their story about how they drove to the mall.
Right. It's like get to the point of the story. Right.
Yes.
I don't need to know all of this stuff that you want to tell me beforehand. You might find it interesting, but it's not. You're trying to tell me a story, but now you're telling me all this backstory, and I don't need all that. I don't care about all that. I want you to tell me the story. And of course, we never called it lore way back when, right, Tom? When we were making the Ultraverse Bible, we never said, "What's the lore of these characters?"
It's the history. It's the backstory. It's how did they get to the point where we first see them? Yeah.
And there's a lot of stuff in there that as the creator, you'll know. It's like, okay, I know this happened, but I'm not going to put it in the story, and it's not even going to be in the story until I need it.
Right.
And the beauty of it is, it's like it could change. It's like I have this in mind. This is what's happened, and then when I get to that point in my story, I'm like, you know what? I don't think this was the best way for this guy to have done this. I'm going to change it.
Because that's the thing, as you're writing it and you come up with better stuff, you haven't told everybody every detail of the history yet, so you can change it because you're the creator of it. And so it's the beauty of creating stuff. It's like you think, oh, I'm locked in. I got my first 6 issues out and it's running just fine. And then I want to do something that contradicts something I set up in the lore, but then that only exists on that document on my computer. No one else knows that yet. So I can change that.
Yes. And easily, and no one knows,
and move forward.
Yeah, and it works, and no one knows.
Right.
Do you think? And I see this a lot. Do you guys think people get caught up in lore?
Oh heck yeah!
I think so. Yes, definitely. Because they get so fascinated by the thing that they've created that they want you to know every detail of it, and it's like I only need to know the story as we're going through it now. And I would prefer to have my backstory peeled away in little bits of layers.
Yeah. Don't bog me down at the beginning with the backstory. I don't remember who said this, but I remember at a writers' conference sometime the speaker said, don't front load all that stuff. Sprinkle it in as you go along. I don't need you to tell me every single element about that. Just tell me that little bitty piece that I need to know right then and there. Field it.
The example that I love, we talked about this before, is NCIS.
Yeah.
It's like the NCIS, very early on, they tell you Gibbs is a sniper.
Right.
And that's it. And then over the course of 15 seasons or whatever, You find out who he originally killed. You find out the repercussions to that murder. You find out that he may or may not have a son from the man he killed, who he orphaned. Right. He may not have had a relationship with that guy's family, who he assassinated. And they peel it away, but they just tell you bits and pieces of what you need to know at that time,
right,
to make it interesting. And that's what you do. I don't need to have an information dump.
No,
about everything about you.
No, absolutely not. David Escudero says one of the best bits of writing advice is I don't care how you get me to the airport, just get me to the airport.
Yeah. So we're going to turn left, and then we're 2 lights down. We're going to take a right, and then we're going to go. You know that place where your mother and I used to have dinner? We're going to drive right past that.
Yeah.
No,
we don't need all that.
No.
Why do you think this is important to a lot of and so admittedly, I would make the claim, you guys argue with me if you think I'm wrong, I would make the claim that this is what a lot of I won't call them young, but inexperienced writers have a tendency to do. Why do you think that's the case? Any guesses? Any thoughts?
Because they haven't learned how to tell a story yet.
Yeah.
And they think information is the story, and information is not the story. Character is the story.
Yeah.
Plot is a story.
Or they had such a very complex world that they had to get a whole chunk out before you could comprehend their story. There is that.
Okay. But then I'm already bored.
So if you can get past that, then you're the right reader.
I might be the wrong reader then for some of the lore.
Well, yeah, get to your point, right?
Yeah.
And I think on the whole, Western audiences are that way. I absolutely know that there are some people who are like, no, I'm good with that. But I think on the whole, Western audiences are like, get to the point. I don't have time for you to tell me.
We've been trained by TV and movies too.
Yeah,
which is TV has to hook you before the credits roll. And movies usually, movies generally in the first 10 minutes. Movies nowadays open up with a chase scene or a murder or a spaceship or whatever to grab you and get your attention.
Yep.
Involve you. And I think we're used to that as like, I don't have 15 pages worth of my time to wade through your description of how people eat.
Right.
let's get on with it.
Or why there's no water in this basin here.
Right.
What?
Get to it.
Yeah. Just tell me there's no water in the basin. It hadn't been there for 20 years. Okay, cool. Well, how does that, what does that have to do with the story that we're telling?
Well, in Mad Max Fury Road, it starts off with Mad Max is sitting on top of a dusty hillside next to his vehicle. He eats like a scorpion or whatever it is. And then he gets into his car and he drives away. And as soon as he drives away, all these other guys start chasing him.
Right. Yeah.
And now it's a huge chase until they catch him and they take him to the base where they torture him. And that's okay. I'm in.
Yeah.
That's like 7 minutes of movie time.
Yeah.
Right. Which is not long. I mean, you're there, right?
It isn't long, and it's all visual. There's hardly a word is spoken.
Yeah. So let's go back to Roberta here. Let's pick on Roberta a little bit. So Roberta, why do you think? So for these who do this, right? You said, don't let me misquote you here. You said that you had to know that before you got to the story. Why do you is this what you're saying that they feel, or this is what you feel?
I was thinking that's what they feel, that at this point they want to introduce something that is so strange that you need context.
Yeah. Okay. I agree that's probably what they feel. But I don't think that's true.
I think people are more flexible than that, and they'll just go with it.
Yeah, I think I don't need, if you have a giant ogre coming and chasing somebody, I don't need context about the ogre's backstory and why he's mad and why his parents abused him as a child. Maybe that happens later, but I want to see the ogre chase.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want the ogre to chase you first.
Right.
And then the guy looks at you and says, "Well, I wonder how this happened." And then give me 10 seconds of that.
Why and how is the ogre chasing you? I want to find out either during the chase or after, but not before.
After.
Yeah.
Because I need to care about it. I need to care about the character being chased.
Yeah.
Before I have any interest in what happened.
Yes. One of the things I always loved about Spider-Man, right, is that Spider-Man could be in the middle of his fight, and you're learning about while he's fighting. You're learning about why he's fighting and what kind of problem he has with the Vulture or Dr. Octopus or whoever it is he's fighting, right? You're learning why that fight is important, why it's important that he needs to finish the fight because he's trying to get somewhere. You're learning about Spider-Man. He's in the middle of his action, right? But you're learning about him as this is happening, so you're not visually bored, but you're learning some of the backstory while this is happening. He doesn't front load it, right? And say, well, Spider-Man pissed off Dr. Octopus because,
And there's usually two things going on in a Spider-Man fight. One is that Spider-Man is fighting the villain. And he's got to defeat the villain because villain equals bad. But also Spider-Man is worried about his job or his girlfriend or his Aunt May or something. There's always a personal stake. So there's two things going on in the Spider-Man conversation while he's fighting the Vulture or Mysterio or Dr. Octopus. And it's sort of the beauty of the way Ditko and Romita and Andrew pace it out, and Lee and Conway and the others fill in the dialogue. There's always more than one thing going on.
Right. Yeah. And of course, as a Spider-Man fan, that's one of the things I always loved about Spider-Man is that there were so many layers, Okay, Spider-Man's fighting Dr. Octopus. That's cool. But then there was all these other layers of what's going on.
There's almost always a clock on the fight. A ticking clock where Spider-Man has to defeat the villain by X amount of time before the real bad thing can happen. And he's also got to meet his deadline or get his homework in or pick up his girlfriend for a date or whatever.
Get pictures in.
There's usually two things going on in the middle of the fight and two ticking clocks.
Yep. Worst ticking clock ever. Batman 3, 6 months ticking clock. We have to get this before this bomb explodes in 6 months.
6 months. No one cares.
That was terrible. Adris.doc says lore can be great if expressed properly outside of main stories. Star Wars is a great example. Yeah. Yes. But I would also argue for Star Wars, it was an anomaly at the time. That didn't happen. How many times did you go see a movie and see a scrolling, how's it start? A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, right? You never saw that. I'd never seen it.
No, but it does. I mean, but that doesn't really tell you anything. Doesn't tell you anything about the characters. It just sort of says
it sets the scene.
Yes,
the stage.
And then all of a sudden, here's the Imperial Destroyer, and then here's a blaster fight, and then here's a princess, and you don't know a lot of details. And there's a guy who talks with a respirator, and that's it. And then she says, "Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope." And we don't even know who these people are.
We don't.
But we're sucked in.
Yeah. Respirator. Spaceballs was a great movie. David H. Gutierrez says they haven't learned how to tell a story, and they want you to know how precious their story is.
Yes, that's true.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's the same way with the dialogue. Everything's over dialogue because they think every word they put down a page is...
Oh, my God, yes.
I mean, it's precious.
My precious words.
Yeah.
Precious. Yeah.
Man, the thing
That's pretty funny.
I love the people who think their words are precious, because when I work in television, we're doing like 16, 17 drafts of the story. We're changing dialogue all the time. We are changing dialogue as they record it in the studio because the words are not precious. You're trying to find the right words. You're trying to find the right meaning. And if it takes you 17 tries to do it, you will. And sometimes the script doesn't even resemble the script that we started out with when we first started it 3 weeks earlier.
Yeah.
But we're working towards the better outcome.
Yeah.
And always less is more.
Yes. Then we're trying to figure out always how to, even though there's no word balloon space we have to worry about, we're always trying to tighten it up. We're always worried about airtime.
I was going to say you don't have word balloon space. You have airtime, right?
Yeah.
You have minutes.
Yes. We have 23 minutes and 45 seconds, and that's it. That's a hard out.
You don't want to lose your audience. If you've got a very uninteresting segue of dialogue, you're losing the person's attention span. I mean,
Yes.
by going unnecessarily into something that's not pertinent to what's on the screen right now or on page.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what you're having to kind of battle with. And that's the reason sometimes a lot of people do fall in love with their lore, and they want to remind you about it every, 5 seconds as they're staging their story. It's like, well, I just want you to tell me the story.
Right.
And if you want to tell me this through a character, maybe the next issue, or, in a very brief, quick manner, be creative with it, but don't hit me over the head with it.
Yeah. And I would go a step further and say, when you say be creative with it, I would say make it relevant to the story. Right. Yeah. Your backstory is your backstory. I get that. Right. But I don't need to know the backstory until I need to know it. That's when you tell me, but you don't have to tell me if your backstory is, 10 pages long. I probably only need to know a little paragraph right then.
Backstory isn't story.
No. Oh, I love that quote. Oh, that's we're gonna clip that one for sure. Backstory isn't.
Right, that happens at the 40-minute mark.
Quote.
Yeah. I need to write that down. I really need to get better about making notes while we're live, because I always have to go back and watch it again to try to find our clip. By the way, you guys,
the thing is, I think,
by the way, you guys, if they're like, hey, while we're live, and I know I'm saying this live, I should probably say this offline. If you guys, if we say something here on live and you're like, oh, Roland ought to clip that, make note of the time, right, and then send it to me, because I'm always trying to figure out what to clip. So yeah, you guys send me. That includes you, Tommy, if you're listening to this.
I think backstory and lore are really, really important to the creator.
Yes.
Because it helps them wrap their head around, or her head around, the thing that they're creating.
Yeah.
But it's also flexible in that you can adjust it and as you come up with better stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's not something that I as an audience need to know. Like, I don't need to know everything in your head. I just need to know the story.
Right. Well, and I'll give it for instance, right? Tom, I don't know if you and I have ever talked about this. My wife she has a big counseling background. One of the things that she, I don't know if she still is or not, but there's this thing called the Myers-Briggs personality type indicator test.
Mm-hmm.
She was a authorized giver of I don't even know what that was called. She can't hear me. I don't know what that was called, but she was an authorized giver of that test. And so I used to take that test as one of her, test subjects multiple times. So I've taken it a bunch. Well, after having taken it a few times and learning some about it, I mean, you know what? This would be really good for my characters. If I could assign a personality type to these characters, it helps me as the writer go, okay, well, Cat, this is his personality type. Mm-hmm. And if I ever come upon, again, we've talked about, no writer's box. If I ever come across something, what kind of decision might Cat make here? I can go back to this personality type indicator, but I don't need to tell the readers he's an INTJ, right?
I use the Dungeons and Dragons character sheets.
Right, yeah.
Because
that's great.
Same kind of thing. You fill it all out, and then you have it. It's your thing.
Yep.
And you can refer to it when needed, right, and change it when needed. But I don't send those to you.
No, because I don't care.
That's right.
Right?
I don't.
Just tell me the story. I don't care.
Right.
It's like a ruler, just.
Yeah.
Well, when my character was 21, he
got caught in the fire.
Right. But because the thing is, when you break it down like that, you can start that way. When my character was 21, this is what happened to him. But then as you write, it's like, man, I don't want to trap him in 21, haven't done that thing. So this thing happened to him when he was 20. And it was a whole different thing. And so that's the thing, is if what becomes important is not the lore itself, but it becomes where it can help you take the story, and then you just adjust the lore and keep track of stuff. it's really simple, and it's not, and my words are not precious. So I care about my words, but if you come up with a better way to edit me or to trim stuff down or a better way to say something, I'm all ears.
I care about my words because I want the reader to understand what I'm trying to say. And if that means they can be revised or cut or enhanced in some way, then that's what I care about more.
But that's why, that's why I have people read my stuff before I turn it in. Mm-hmm. And then they tell me, you have fallen, you've fallen into the same Mason trap again by having all these characters sound well, like Howard Mackey said, all these characters sound like Howard Mackey. Yeah. All these characters sound like me. And so if somebody has to beat me over the head and say, Tom, these all sound like you. And all right, I'll fix it.
Right. Yeah. Yep. David says, I'm sorry, Mike, go ahead.
I was going to say, one of the biggest things you can learn as a writer is to rein yourself in.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you're trying to do this kind of stuff, you have to back up and say the characters first. What I could sit here and come up with some killer dialogue that maybe would sound great on some kind of mystery overlay or something, but if it doesn't serve the character, you're wasting the reader's time.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
But then I save that clever dialogue on an index card and I put that in my folder, and I think I'm going to use that again someday.
Yeah. I'm going to save this so I can use it. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely. David A. Scudero says, also, you have to be fluid with the backstory that lives in your head so that you can let the story lead you into surprising places.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
And if you can't put that on a t-shirt though, but it is a good point.
No, but Atris does say you can put Tom Mason quotable here. Backstory isn't story.
Yeah, but I might have stolen that from somebody, so don't give me credit.
Don't give you attribution.
No.
Passing on sage advice. How about that?
Stole from some other writer.
Well, the thing about it, I find in class I say things that I'm like, you know what, I didn't come up with that, but I don't know who said it.
It becomes an idiom eventually.
Well, one of the things I say in class a lot, and is the protagonist needs to protag, right? So many of them, they establish a protagonist, and then everybody else does the stuff, and I'm like, no. You said this is a story about this person here. They need to do the stuff. Everybody else doesn't need to do the stuff. So
team effort.
I stole it from somebody, but I don't know who I stole it from. So
you can Google protag and it'll tell you.
Probably not protag. You never said protag?
No.
Really?
That doesn't sound like something anyone said.
No, that sounds
I
like
didn't make it up.
That sounds like some kind of Twitter thing.
Maybe.
It took me a second when somebody said collab for the first time. I was trying to figure out what the hell are you talking about.
What is that?
Yeah, what is that? You young people with your collabs. It's like, no, it's collaborate. It's work together.
Standard person 3801 said, "Hey, if you're wearing the Tom Mason shirt and not the other guy's shirt, you win."
That's right. Send me my cut of the royalty. Let's go.
That's right. All right. What else? What else about lore here? I've gone through all my questions already.
Well, I think were we supposed
Have we
to fight?
answered well enough? I mean, there's more debate to be had.
I thought there was going to be more debate.
I think the key is that, like in Blade Runner, the movie, there's a lot of lore.
Right.
There is.
Yeah.
But there's also so many questions left unanswered. It doesn't ruin anything for me, but there are unanswered questions about how people live or how people go about their jobs or how people make money or whatever. But that only makes it more interesting to me because I sort of fill those things into my head because they're not relevant to the story. They're not relevant to what Rick Decker is doing.
Well, so let me ask you this though. You says it doesn't run it for you, and you guys maybe have to correct me here, but I don't think Blade Runner was a blockbuster, right? I don't think Blade Runner did exceptionally well. We like it because we're geeks.
Well, but it also I think it had a tremendous influence on storytelling and science fiction stuff and art direction. But did it?
And again, these are legit questions because I don't know. Did it make needles move at the box office?
No, but I don't think that is a correct gauge of creative influence.
Okay.
So there.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
I don't think you can say this movie was successful, therefore we've learned all the correct lessons, or this movie did not make any money, therefore it's terrible. I don't think you can say you can use that as your metric.
No. I agree with that. But I think the way Hollywood measures things a lot of times is the green or the red, right?
Well, yes.
Green or the red, black or red. Money.
Yes, but those are the studio heads. So a lot of the ways creative people measure stuff is, oh, this is influencing me. I can learn from the way this looks. I can learn from the way this story is told.
Like the way Seven Samurai influences me. Right. I watch it and go, ooh, I want to do that.
Yeah, and also that's one of the saddest movies ever.
It is, yeah. But it's one of the greatest movies ever.
I would argue, yes. It's one of the
David A. Skura says, don't be such an antag, Roland.
Yeah, don't.
All right, here we got a good question here. Atris Doc says, Mike, from Man of the Mask, what is your backstory to presented story ratio? Okay. Backstory to presented story ratio. How much of what you write would you say gets told? Oh, good. I like that.
That is a good question.
Yeah.
95-5, probably. I mean, because I stay in the modern. I try to stay, I presented in my graphic novel an overview of his life, but the series, I always wanted it to be modern. I wanted it to be going on now and as pertaining to his life now.
Yeah.
And his backstory is his backstory. As I need to introduce something, I will, but it's not the overriding. The story is about a guy continuing a legacy on his terms, on his way. And if I was to stay in the legacy too long, I think I definitely would lose attention because it's not the kind of story I wanted to tell.
You end up with
the backstory is the very fact he exists is his backstory. I don't want to belabor, why he does what he does. It's presented on page.
And that's going to lead me to the next question here. Dana Black says cult film, they call it. Yeah. Which I think it is. Absolutely. So, Mike, Tom, as writers, how much backstory do you do before you write your story? Start with Mike, since we're on Man of the Black. Well, Tom can think about it. But how much? Because I know you and I've had conversations. I know we talked in Kentucky one time, and you told me some of the stuff that you were wanting to do. How much backstory do you have that before you start writing?
Well, each situation, I have to figure out, what's the point of the story. I want it to build somewhere. I don't want it to always, you can have aimless moments in the story and it be fine. But at the same token, I don't want it to bury it. Yeah. So the backstory, the plot is usually something I try to come up with, like a sentence. If I can't tell my plot in a sentence, I'm not getting anywhere with it.
Right.
And so
I know that's your story now, right?
That's my story. That's what I'm doing now. As far as if I ever get, I do have it lined out that eventually his backstory will pop in. It will pop in because I want to remind the reader some of his motivations. But again, this is his life now, and I don't want it to be something that, again, it buries him.
Right.
Because I think that a lot of people do with that backstory situation with their own lore, they let it kind of choke a character out.
Yeah.
Because you want to reveal so much about him. It's like, well, but I want to reveal what's happening to him now.
Right.
Because that's the adventure. That's the feeling that you get through action. The way I try to at least tell a story, the action is giving you indications of the character traits. Because by example, by being with anybody for 5 or 10 minutes, I can usually tell some of their background. And I always wanted my characters to feel that way too, that if you are just around them, you start getting, well, he comes from good stock, as we would call it here. They come from good stock. And you had a good mom, you had a good dad. How many times we've said that about somebody? And so again, you don't want to, you want to show, don't tell. So with backstory, it's important that each issue that you do, like, okay, what's really going on here? because you don't want the ending to fall flat. And you know that backstory is going to have to be, how much do I put on page? How much is on page and how much is suggested?
Yeah. David A. Scudera says Mike's books is a masterclass in lore and backstory, world building, and moving forward.
Thanks.
There you go. There's your T-shirt right there.
That's cool.
No kidding.
I'm good for that. Yeah, but yeah, like I said, backstory, it's important.
Yeah.
But again, it's sometimes it can be a hindrance.
I think
it can anchor a character down too much, because you think of all the characters that were like Wolverine. Claremont teased Wolverine's origin for years, and then when someone finally did it, it's kind of like, and no offense to the guy who did it, but it's like,
I was more interested in him when I didn't know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It changes your perception.
I don't know who did it, so yeah, it does. It changes.
Yeah.
This may surprise you, but I do almost none.
I think that's good too.
Because the thing of it is, I'll talk briefly about the thing I'm working on for you, Roland, with Henry Martinez, which is I have no backstory. I have no origin in mind. I have no lore created for it. I have plot mechanics. I have characters, and I have movement forward. And anything about the backstory, I have bits and pieces that float around in my head.
Right.
But when I do the next issue or the issue after that, it'll just be, I'll just pull stuff out of the air. Like this is fun for me. I want to do it this way. And I don't want to be trapped in like some sort of weird, like Wolverine's now trapped in his origin story.
Yeah. Yeah.
We all know it. But it's kind of mediocre and it's disappointing after all these years. So to me, the origin story is the least important part of any of this stuff. It's if you have a character with claws, then 1, 2, 3, go. And that's all you need to know. And I would rather figure out how a character with claws maneuvers through the modern world than how heavy his backstory continues to overhang. Like with Storm, when Claremont was writing her, like every issue, you have to be reminded that she was a thief when she was a child.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
No, you stop that.
Right.
Like it's like 100 times already. Yeah. No, I got it. And so I think the being a thief has nothing to do with her storm powers in any way. It's they're two disconnected elements.
Yeah.
And so I create what's needed out of thin air as it's needed.
Yeah.
And sometimes that paints me in a corner, and I have to call up like Chris or Dave and say, "Hey, listen, I screwed this up again. let me read you something."
Well, it may surprise you, but I'm very similar. I don't do that much. Right. I do like to have now, and way back when I didn't even do this, right? But now I do like to kind of have an idea of the personality type of my main characters.
Right. Well, that's what I do with the D&D sheets.
Yep. But like for instance, often what happens, right, for me, like I get a story kind of concept and I start writing the story concept, right? And the intention when I'm writing is that this is the story that I'm going to tell, not that this becomes the lore, but it's like, this is a story I'm going to tell. Like for Cat and Mouse, I knew that for the current team, I'm like, okay, I got to get back to New Orleans. I got to get 2 new characters. I still want male and female. This is what I want. I still want to do all these things. I don't want to duplicate what was done before. So how am I going to do these things? How am I going to do this different? I wanted to be in New Orleans. I didn't want to start off in somewhere else to get there. Right. So I'm like, okay, well, dude's looking for a girl in New Orleans. This is what happens. Well, I didn't have he was in Mississippi. I didn't have all of that at first. Right. Because I'm starting with the idea that they're already in New Orleans.
Right.
You're going to take on human trafficking. That other stuff kind of came a little bit later. And a lot of it didn't, like what's in here hasn't even made it to the page yet.
Right.
But,
yeah.
But that's just, and it may not, right? It may not ever make it to the page.
Isn't that the creative person's way though? You've got way more stuff in your head than you're ever going to get out.
Oh yeah.
Page.
Yeah.
It's just a framework, really.
Yeah. And you got to make sure you don't rush it out because you want to get to that. You don't want to get to it.
Because I work 2 ways. One is if I come up with a character that I really like,
I
have to figure out, okay, well, what kind of story can this be?
Yeah.
Because that person, in order for that person to live, there has to be a story, and how does that work? But sometimes I'll be thinking, I think, oh man, this is a really great plot.
All right. Yeah.
This would be a good story. I don't have a character for it yet. So now I got to figure out what kind of character I could create that would drive this kind of weird plot. And so I'm always working frontwards sometimes or backwards sometimes.
Yeah. Well, so I'll give you an example. And I don't even know where this is going to go yet, but on our drive down to Tampa Bay, BJ actually went with me. And on our drive down to Tampa Bay, I came up with an idea as part of our conversation. I'm like, ooh, this would be a cool character, right? And I said, I need you to send me an email because I'm driving, right? She's she's the passenger. So I'm driving. I said, I need you to send me an email. And here's what I want you to say. A viney villain named Kudzu.
Right.
Now, does that mean anything to y'all?
Yes, because kudzu is hard to eradicate.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
It's a parasite.
That was how I know. That's how I come up with it, because we're driving. I'm like, hey, sweetheart, do you notice there's hardly any kudzu in Florida? Well, and I wonder
as
why.
one says all the time.
There's so much kudzu in Mississippi that I'm like, ooh, that would make a good villain for Cat and Mouse. Send me that email, right? Now, who knows? Who knows what and when anything will happen.
Right.
But that, as of this point, that's all I got, right? A viney villain named Kudzu.
But it's going to roll around in the back.
Yep.
And eventually it'll hit you with like, oh, right, I could do this with that.
Yep. Dana Black said, I'm creating a Nephthor for Blue Moon, and it's based on the Atlantis myth. So I have that built in, other than how I tweak my Atlantis, and I do a bit of that.
Right.
From there, I wrote about 6 handwritten origin notes giving an overall. From there, I know exactly who he is and what he wants. And while the first story involves the ruins of Atlantis, we only really spend a moment there before we jump into who Nephthor is right now and takes off from there.
Right.
Yeah. And the thing about it is, this is for you. We don't need to know all of that, right? This is for you so that you can take Nephthor and move forward with it. And that's what we want to see.
And I'd like to add that the myth of Atlantis, if it is a myth, is that it's one of those things where we all have a visual in our head, or we all have some ideas about Atlantis from years of growing up, wherever. Right. Like it's like if you said the pyramids, we'd all have an idea, or or if you said ancient Babylon, we've got something in our heads to go along with that. So some of our past does some lifting for us as well before he even writes a sentence.
Yeah. Atlantis is in Western Africa, right?
If you look, maybe it is.
Mike, you were going to say?
No, I was just going to say, Dane's got a great point.
Yeah.
Everything, we're supposed to build on things. The way I look at my stories, I go on the assumption someone knows what a masked man is. There are some things that I'm not going to have to reiterate.
Right.
And if I was to reiterate it, I'm kind of, I'm feeling like I'm wasting the reader's time because, okay, I kind of know what a masked man is. I kind of, what a crime fighter, quote unquote, is. And so that we get to pull from stereotypes. We get to, that's our other topics before. Right. There are ways of keeping from drowning people in lore that allow us, visual cues. Just a little thing.
I don't want to pick on you, but did you ever give any consideration on, and if so, what was that consideration? That man in the mask, people considering, oh, that's a villain, that's a bad guy. That was a man that who robbed you? Well, some man in a mask.
Well, again, and that's the situation that you have with masked men. There's always going to be that interpretation by somebody, But typically, again, if you're doing a comic, you're not typically, 9 times out of 10, you're not doing a villain story,
right?
Typically, you present yourself in a certain way, but I always based on character, and so as far as moving through the story, you're giving assumptions between stereotypes.
So go ahead, Tom.
But I would also, maybe this is off point, but it's me, so what the hell? But Mike also draws his main character in sort of a heroic style. He's not drawn in a typical
very much
style.
So, yeah.
And so you can it's clear from the visual that you can look at it and go, I bet this is the good guy.
Right. Yeah. Well, I find it interesting that you said that, Mike, because Atris says, I've always liked world lore more than character lore. That's the most fun for headcanon stuff.
There we go.
What do you guys think? You agree with that?
I agree with that.
I agree with that. I'll bring up Blade Runner again, even though it didn't make any money for Roland.
It got better over time.
Yeah, right.
Well, yeah. So you had to, the more you watch it, the better it gets, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think you learn things, right? You pick up things that you didn't see the first time. You didn't catch the first time.
Yes.
Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog was that way for me. I watched it once and it was funny. Don't get me wrong. I liked it. But the more I watched it, the more I saw it. I'm like, yeah. Highly recommended. Everyone on here's seen it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Roberta?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah. This is a good question here. David S. Gutierrez says, do Roland and Mike have the last issues of Cat and Mouse and the Man in the Mask in their heads? I'll go first. I do not. I do not. In my mind, there's still so many things they need to do. I don't have the end of their story. And I will go a step further that in the first volume of Cat and Mouse, I didn't have their story, the ending, until we knew we were going to end the series. When we knew we were going to end the series, I'm like, okay, well, I wanted to end it, right? And so I'm like, okay, well, how am I going to do that? Well, Cat's been hurt. Let's take them to Japan. This is where their story will end. But I didn't have that until we ended with 18. I think probably 16, and that was about the time. It may have been an issue before that. I'd have to go back and look to be certain. But it wasn't until I knew the end was going to be there that I figured out the end.
But that was a publication ending that was driven by publication. That wasn't necessarily an ending that you would want to have done had you continued, right?
Correct. And that is, I'll just be as transparent as possible. That's partly why the new Cat and Mouse exists, because I didn't feel that I had told all the stories with Cat and Mouse that I wanted to tell. And so I'm like, well, let's just. Jose says no end to Cat and Mouse ever. What's
the
up, Jose?
Never-ending story.
Oh my gosh!
But that's the thing. That's the thing about being the creator, being the owner of the properties, is that you can make the legacy.
Right.
You can, because the cat and mouse characters that are current now are not the identical ones from the early incarnation, but it's still cat and mouse.
Oh, absolutely. It's still for me anyway. It still has the same, for old readers. It has the same spirit that Cat and Mouse had. So if you enjoyed the first one, no, it's not, Jerry and Mandy, but it still has the same feel and spirit and tone. Still New Orleans, still a lot of the same secondary cast. But yeah, it's not the same two people, but that's okay. It lets me tell a different story.
Right.
What about you, Mike?
I've got a funny answer. I don't have an ending for the book, but I do have, Tommy's end. I do have the story. Okay. I mean, it's one of those things that you kind of envision more so than, because it would be ultimately part of his character.
Right.
But as far as I still got tons of stories to tell. I mean, I've still got things that I'll probably never get to.
Yeah.
It's just the way life goes, as far as too much time you have. But, but in my head, I have a head canon exactly how his story ends. I'm being vague because it is what it is. It's a story. But as far as the book goes, I don't have an ending for the book, but I have, like I said, Tommy's story. I do have an ending. Because I think ultimately you don't have to have an ending, but at the same token, it helps kind of move along headspace. You don't want the ending. You see how many finales of TV shows just land with a thud because either they had to do it really quickly because they got canceled, or they did just really a lot of circumstances, and they ended with a thud, and it was just like, So, my idea was maybe I need to know where this ends up, just so I don't ever betray the character.
Well, and I think the other reason, and this is why I believe in plotting out your stories, is that also it helps you lay the path, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to get to the end and have your readers go, oh, that doesn't make any sense at all. You want to get to the end and have them say, I should have seen that coming, right? Here are all the clues that get me here, right? So yeah. I mean, for Cat and Mouse, I have things that I want to do. I have, twists and turns for the characters that I want this to happen to Brett. I want, this to happen to Bobby. I want these things to happen. But the final resolution, I don't have. No.
Yeah. I mean, because you kind of battle. I mean, you battle with certain ideals. I mean, because my book's not about the character. My book's about his world.
Right.
That's always been kind of my mission statement. If I was to make it about the character, I kind of betray the reasons I'm doing the book. He lives in the world, and it's the people around him that the story is about. Because again, I don't want to drown. I grew up on superheroes that save people. And then I watch comics go into the fraternity phase, where basically it's just team up with, the hero next door for the villain of the week, and they kind of forgot who they're protecting. So, my plot of Man in the Mask may be different than anybody else's because, again, it's not necessarily about him. Of course, it has to be about him because but it's not through his eyes. It's through a narrator that's kind of stepping him through, and it's the world around him. So if I were to become selfish with it, and it completely revolves around him, I'm kind of defeating my mission statement.
Yeah. Check this out, y'all. Thomas Flormani says, how to do, y'all? Thomas in Mississippi. Ma'am. Sorry I missed being on the show. I was going to watch some at 8, but it's 7 Central in Mississippi, so I missed the first hour.
I will know he spelled his name correctly. So he's not driving.
He did spell his name correctly, didn't he? He's like, what are you talking about? I missed that. now he's going to have to watch the first hour that he missed.
Hold back.
Yeah.
I'm against endings, so I'll fight you both.
You're against endings?
Well, so I'm against. Here's what I respect what Mike said, because that's for the book that he's doing. I think that's great, and that really helps him tell the story that he wants to tell, and he can lay out the groundwork to get where he wants to go. I think that's great. I can't do that because I don't. To me, writing the last story of something is too definitive in my head, and I'm okay with closure. I'm okay with ending the adventure and stopping it, but not having it be the last thing ever, because I always want to, because years later, except I'll probably be dead, I would want to bring them back and do it again. And so that's, I don't like the finality of the final story.
Well, here's a left field question. How would you continue Prototype?
Ooh, good question.
I would, because, well, first of all, it would be sad because Len's not here.
He would.
And so I wouldn't want to do it without him or without his blessing. And since he's not here, but what I would do is, the history of Prototype is the history of the suit. And the suit started out with Bob Campbell. He was the first prototype, and then it went to the younger generation, Jimmy Ruiz. I would pick it up with the next kid. Cool. And because the suit could live on and be customized as modern technology changes, and then the corporations are always evil and not good, and so they would bring the suit back and give it to a new guy. And then I would set up, if Bob Campbell is still alive and Jimmy Ruiz is still alive, and then there's a new kid. Now I've got a trio dynamic at work, and the two previous ones are much older and more experienced and probably angry about stuff. So I would do that.
So let me ask you a question, because this was one of the considerations that and one of the, for me personally, one of the most difficult things I had to consider and kind of overcome is today and the last issue of Prototype, we're talking 30 years ago.
That's correct.
Right. So is Jimmy the last prototype, or have there been other prototypes before we get to now? Do you treat it as 30 years, or do you treat it as 3 weeks?
Well, I think no one cares that it's 30 years.
Okay.
And so I treat it as the now.
Okay.
Because the 30 years is too much lore.
Yeah.
I agree.
What I could do, I mean, it depends on where you want to plot it. And now we're way off topic, but if you want to go into, so if there's Jimmy Ruiz was the last one that we know of from 30 years ago. If that 30 years ago was actually 2 weeks ago,
right,
in comic book time, then maybe, and now there's a new kid, let's call him, Johnny or whatever. Then maybe there was a bad example of that character in the middle. And something happened, and that's part of the mystery or the lore that carries us to the new working model.
Yeah.
So that now I've got 4 prototypes.
Yeah.
Two earlier ones from 2 weeks ago, a bad one, and the current one. But again, it depends on who's assigning me the problem and how much plot I want to get to, because I'm more interested in who the new kid is.
Right. Yeah. Same. Yeah.
And I might bring back others if it makes the story more interesting, but a kid, a teenager in the armored suit is just better. Yeah.
Yeah. For me, that was one of the hardest things. Like, okay, well, it's been 30 years. So what happens with all the other characters? What happens with all the supporting cast?
You just pretend it was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago. Yeah,
because because the thing is, no one cares, and the people who do care are few and far between.
Right.
Exactly. They care about the character. They're just be happy to read something.
If you pull it off correctly and you do a good job, all the problems anybody has with it are forgotten.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's of the now.
Yeah.
H says, Roland, that was a pretty solid Floramonte impression.
He's had 40 years to work on it.
Yeah, I've had a long time to work with it. David Escudero says, Dinosaurs for Hire is infinite.
That's right. It will now never
correction. Tom Mason's Dinosaurs for Hire is infinite.
And please refer to it as Mike Belcher's Man of the Mask.
That's right. That's right. Tommy says, I think my comics as a living thing. Yeah, I think of my comics as a living thing. I wanted to continue. The story, that snapshot we're reading might have a conclusion, a storyline. The characters can continue to live like normal. Yeah. We tell the stories, but they're still there. They still exist.
Well, I think every time a book got canceled, I just thought that we were just taking the camera out of their lives. They were still existing, and if it started back a year or two later, it's like we're just picking back up what we missed.
I like that way of thinking.
Yeah. Except for the protectors.
You killed them, Roland.
No, not me. R.A. Jones.
You ordered him to kill them, and he killed them on your behalf. You're like the Blofeld, ordering your henchman R.A. Jones to kill a bunch of characters.
Burn it all.
This is what R.A. wanted to do. I had to get approval. You probably don't remember that. I had to get approval from you guys.
Well, it's characters that R.A. has a proprietary interest in.
Do you remember what the condition was?
Kill them all.
No. Because I came to you guys and I said, hey, because I think it was probably you and Tom, you and Chris. I said, I said, because we already knew the series was going to end, right? This was part of it. And I said, hey, R.A. this is what he wants to do. He wants to blow the world up at the very end. What should I tell him? What am I going to do? You guys were the bosses, right? And I'm pretty sure you said, this is not an exact quote, but you said, as long as he has a way out in case we revitalize the book in a few years.
Yes, that's correct.
And so I said, all right. I asked R.A., I said, R.A., if we can relaunch this book in a couple of years, do you have a way out of this? He says, yes, but I'm not going to tell you.
Of course.
And I said, as long as you've got a way out of it, R.A., that's
See, that's a good freelancer. Yes, I have a way out in 2 years.
Not
but
telling
I'm not telling you because in 2 years you're going to call me and ask me.
Yep.
And then you're going to pay me for it.
That's right.
That's a great freelancer right there. That's R.A. Jones thinking ahead.
And I had no problems with that, right? I'm like, I don't need to know.
That's my only condition. You can't. Yep. It's comic books. Nobody really dies. And if we lived long enough to decide that we wanted it to come back, Can we come back in a way that's not embarrassing?
Right. Yes. And he already had it. He already had it figured out.
And I really believe him too, because RA was a deep thinker along those the same way that Mike is. He had things, he had tendrils planned out.
Yep. And to this day, I have never asked him what his resolution was.
No,
because it's irrelevant. And if it happens, that's R.A. Jones' story to tell.
Yes. It's not my story to repeat it, because I would absolutely repeat it everywhere if RA told me. So
right, exactly. Yes, exactly.
I would RA knows, and I would not keep a secret. So
yeah,
here's what RA was going to do, kids.
Right. Oh, and you know what? It probably was, because I have people come up to me at shows and hey, I can't believe the way you guys into the Protectors. I'm like, that's all right,
Don't look at me.
Yeah, don't look. I was just the editor, man. David S. Gutierrez says, "Has Ari ever revealed it?"
No.
Not to my knowledge. He's never revealed it to me, and if he's revealed it elsewhere, he didn't say, "Hey, Roland, I was told the ending. Go look." So
I posted it on Twitter 3 weeks ago. Where were you?
Yeah. So if he has, I'm not aware of it.
Yeah, no, it's in his best interest to not give it away.
Yeah, I think so too. Tommy said, what Mike said, much better put than what I said. Erase what I wrote.
We'll get right on that.
Yeah, and then he says, say yes and figure it out later. Yeah. That is the key freelancer answer, right? Yes. And then figure it out later.
Yes, basically yes to everything. Are you too busy for this? No.
Do
you have time for this? Yes, I have time for this.
Yep.
Do you have a way out? Yes. Can you solve my problems? Yes.
Yep. That's it. Yeah. Yeah, and that was genuinely that, because I like the story, and I'm like, genuinely, that was my only question. Is like, Ari, I need to know that you've got a way out of it, because a lot of us in the office, we love the Protectors. We didn't want to see them go away, but it just didn't make sense.
Can't make any money at it.
And so it wasn't and it's a lot of times it does feel personal, but and Ari knew, but it wasn't as, we hate RA and therefore these things have to go. It's like, no. This is what the economics are, and
we hate RA. We kept that guy working for 10 years.
Oh, I know. And anyone who knows RA know that you can't hate him.
No,
he's one of the most likable guys in the comic book industry. And
he like, if you need an idea, you need something going, he's there.
Yep, absolutely, 100%.
The pity of not being in comics anymore at that level is that you can't hire an R.A. Jones.
Right. Yeah. If we could just get him, to get on the internet, we can get him on this show.
He's
on Facebook.
The A in R.A. Jones stands for Amish.
Amish. Yeah, I don't doubt that. Yeah. All right here. Well, where's my clock? We've gone past our time. Anything else anybody want to add about why nobody cares about your lore?
I think I punched this into the ground.
Hey, the guy who gets saved doesn't care about the character's motivation. He's just happy he got saved.
Yeah.
No, 100%. Oh crap!
Your parents must have raised you right, Superman.
You're a good stock.
There's the callback.
Miss you, Tommy.
Yeah,
I know.
Come back and see us
next time.
There's the share that.
Mississippi Bike Ride sounds like a band.
Mississippi
trying
Bike
to
Ride.
do?
Isn't that what Tommy's doing?
I've got something I'm trying to share. Here we go. Okay, let's see here. Atris says, great show, everyone. Make mine Silverline and release the Rollins B-sides.
Yes.
Thanks, Atris. I appreciate that.
That's awesome.
Tommy says, good to see everyone. Take care. We'll see. You'll be back next Sunday, right, Tommy? I think so. Rollins, it's time to accept this show consistently. Rollins, you know what? I know. I look at that hour every time and I think, we got to wrap this up.
Yeah,
And then I look at the clock and it's like 1:20.
Your other people,
always.
like on Barb's show at 59 minutes, she's like, all right, good night.
Yeah.
We're out of here.
He's out.
I know they are.
I gotta
out
go.
and done. All right. Here is next week. We are having G-Rod. It's going to be. Let me make sure I got my date right here. Hold on. Let me get my calendar. I don't even have my calendar up yet. Yeah, next week. Next week, y'all. We are having Gabriel Rodriguez, also known as G-Rod. If you've watched any of these shows, MIA, Landman, Red One, Stranger Things, Suicide Squad, Cobra Kai, you have seen this guy. Super, super nice guy. I met him at a show down in Miami, and he just was just talking to me, just super friendly, super nice. He immediately friended me on Instagram, and we swapped messages on Instagram. It just, as an actor guy, this guy is just incredibly nice to a lowly comic book guy. So I asked him some time ago if he would come on and talk to us. And he said he absolutely would. So you guys get some questions lined up for G-Rod. Actress says that's a very UFC promo feel for G-Rod.
Sunday.
Well, have you ever look at his the characters he plays? He plays a pretty mean guy most of the time. Any of you watching Landman?
No,
man. Landman is so good. He plays the father of one of the characters. Really, really nice job. All right, so Tommy says for sure not next Sunday.
They have the internet.
Yes, they do. So I guess it'll be 2 weeks before we see Tommy. On Tuesday, though, all right, let me stop sharing this. That's G-Rod. On Tuesday, how to develop your comic art style faster. A panel of professional comic creators discuss practice strategies and hacks you can use to develop your personal art style. This is on Tuesday for a Silverline show on Tuesday. Excuse me. And then Wednesday.
Okay, roll.
I've got the hiccups. Movie pitch mentality. Many comics are created with the goal of being adapted into film or television, sometimes at the expense of quality in the comic medium itself. This is Wednesday, movie pitch mentality. And of course, next week we'll be back here with G-Rod. So you guys tune in. This is the first non-comic person that we've ever had on any of our streams, I think. I mean, we've had
cool.
Yeah, I think so. So I'm very much looking forward to it. Until next week, remember to make mine Silverline. Good night, everyone.
Hey heroes, cosplayers, and pop culture fans, are you ready to assemble for the ultimate geek weekend? The Hall of Heroes Comic-Con is invading Elkhart, Indiana with 2 explosive days of comics, stars, and non-stop fun. Join us Saturday, May 30th and Sunday, May 31st, 2026 at the Northern Indiana Event Center in Elkhart. Doors open at 10 a.m. both days. VIP early entry at 9:30 a.m. on Saturday. We're rolling out a massive lineup of legends. Meet Eric Estrada from Chips and Fallout, Dirk Benedict from the A-Team and Battlestar Galactica, Tara Reid from American Pie and Sharknado, Catherine Cavadini, voice of Blossom from the Powerpuff Girls, Kel Mitchell from All That, Kevin and Kel and Mystery Men, horror icon Tony Moran, the original Michael Myers in Halloween, and more. Plus, top comic artists including Arthur Sidem, Marvel Zombies and Deadpool, John Kramer from Batman and Wonder Woman, Keith Pollard, a legendary Marvel artist on Spider-Man and Thor, and more. Scott Rosama, Stuart Sager, and others. Get autographs, photo ops, and chats with the stars and creators who shaped your favorites. The floor is packed with over 150 vendors, artists, and cosplayers offering exclusive comics, collectibles, original art, and merch. Enjoy cosplay contests for kids and adults with great prizes, live Q&A panels, artist showcases, interactive zones, and family-friendly fun all weekend. And the excitement goes live. Madness Entertainment Group is broadcasting straight from the con floor all weekend on YouTube, Build, and Rumble. Catch every moment as it happens, then relive it anytime with the full shows available later on Med TV on Roku. Grab your tickets today at hohcomiccon.org. Hall of Heroes Comic-Con, May 30th and 31st, 2026. Northern Indiana Event Center, Elkhart, Indiana. We'll see you there, heroes. This ad was created by Nim on behalf of Madness Entertainment Group and Hall of Heroes Comic-Con.
Hi, I'm John Beatty. Make mine Silverline.